There's a direct causal link between the corruption of Marcos Sr.'s administration and your fuel prices today. Over 100 pesos per liter. That's the price of fuel right now, and people are on the streets rallying against Petron because of it. But some people call them stupid, because even if Petron operates at zero profit, prices only go down by 1 peso. But I do think there is something to be rightfully mad about here, and that's corruption and the reason why the system is broken in the first place. To understand why, we have to go back to the 70s. Petron was actually government-owned, and it was bought in the first place to protect people from price shocks like this during a similar oil crisis in the 70s. Why is it privatized now? Because of the Bataan nuclear power plant. The plant cost $2 billion to build, and most of that was siphoned off because of corruption. And so when they eventually shut down the plant in the 90s, it led to massive power outages and an insane amount of debt. To solve this problem, the government tried to privatize energy, but they needed something to entice electricity companies into signing contracts. And so the government signed a special contract where they said they would continue to buy electricity even if no one used it. This caused massive costs for the government. And because they were already in such massive debt because of the Marcos administration, the government had to sell off Petron as a cash cow, selling their ownership of it for the money that they needed to privatize the energy grid because they couldn't pay for power plants and Petron at the same time. What does this mean? It means that your over 100 pesos per liter fuel prices are a direct product of corruption during the Marcos regime, during the founding of Bataan nuclear power plant, and strategic mistakes by the Philippine administration that have led us to becoming dependent on foreign oil prices today. To save their own skins, they passed on prices to us. And now we have to pay for it. Because if we invested in strategic oil reserves and the government retained a majority share in Petron, we wouldn't be seeing these fuel prices today. We would be prepared for an oil price shock. We would be able to keep prices low because we had oil in advance we bought at lower prices. But the government never had to make these decisions, and because Petron is a private corporation and focuses on profits, they never had to build an oil stockpile because building oil stockpiles are expensive. So if there's any takeaway from this, we cannot let this happen again. We cannot let corrupt politicians get away with a slap on their hand. We have to hold them accountable. We cannot forget the things they did. Where should we start? By not letting go of the flood control issue. Show to politicians that they cannot exhaust us and cannot distract us with issues they created themselves.